Are you a busy professional who is looking to build wealth, but you don't know where to start? Not even what to do? Well, this channel is for you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a simple concept, but sometimes it can be so complex. Budgeting. A lot of times we hear, make sure you are budgeting your money. Well, some people will say don't budget, but I am a big believer. I'm a big budgeter. I budget every cent, every dime, every nickel of my coins. I budget, okay? So even if it's going into savings, investing, wherever it's going, I am budgeting that dime or that nickel or that penny. And I think it's important that you have a plan for your money, or somebody else will have a plan for your money, okay? So I want to really talk about the difference between, well, let's break down what budgeting is. So when we talk about getting a budget, right, and there are many apps that you can use, Mint, whatever. You can use Excel. I know a friend who actually used a whiteboard for her budget. That's totally fine as long as you are budgeting. Some people use paper and pen. Hey, that is good and dandy. I'm a math whiz, so of course I like Excel because it updates and I can see in real time what's happening, and I don't have to do the calculations in my head. Though, I can, who wants to do that? Anyways, so when we talk about budgeting, you're going to identify all of the items that you have to spend throughout the month, and whatever the period. And it doesn't have to be a month, whatever the period is that you are budgeting for. So some people may get paid bi-weekly. Some people may get paid weekly. Some people get paid monthly. And you actually don't even have to just budget for your paycheck. When I'm doing an event, or if I'm planning any type of outing, or whatever the case may be, I'm budgeting, honey. Yes. We're like, okay, the budget here is 1,000 and we're not going over. We got to squeeze it in, whatever the case may be. So you can use budgets for different types of things and for different purposes, right? So, but for this video, we're going to be talking about budget in the sense that you are budgeting your paycheck. And so if you get paid bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly, you can do your budget that way. So I'm going to talk about a budget in the sense that you're doing it, let's say, monthly. So of course, monthly is a good way to actually talk about your budget because a lot of bills are monthly. I don't even know if I know any bills that are weekly or not, but a lot of bills are monthly. And so if your bills are monthly, it would be a good idea to do a monthly budget. So what you're going to do is you're going to identify the different things that you're spending for monthly. So you might say my mortgage or rent, right? You might say gas. You might say you're budgeting for food, of course. Some might say tithes. Some might say, I don't know, people eat out. Whatever the case may be, you might have kids, so you might say tuition. You may have to do life insurance. You might have to do car insurance. You might have to pay for your grass. You might have to pay, there are different things that you have to budget for. And a lot of people forget this, miscellaneous, because life is unpredictable. So you want to make sure you're putting all of these down. Now, when we talk about budgets, there are different types of expenses. So you'll have your expense, so you'll have your income, which is the money coming in, and then you'll have your expense, which is the money going out. Now, we have what you call variable expenses, and these are going to be expenses that are fixed. These are expenses that will not change. Well, it won't change very often because even if you have mortgage or rent, occasionally those things will vary. But things like your mortgage, your rent, or your car note, right? What else? Your car insurance, even though sometimes it may fluctuate. For the most part, maybe 6 months at a time or 12 months at a time, these things are staying fixed. They're not changing. Now, we also have what you call variable expenses, and these are expenses that fluctuate, like how much you spend on gas, what the light bill is this month, what the utilities or the gas in your house, right? Or some may say they use water and those type of things in the heater. So those different things are what we call variable expenses. And then you have leisure. So you want to categorize your spendings these way. Leisure is definitely where you can figure out if you can cut back and invest some money or save some more money, right? So leisure might be you going to Starbucks, you going to catch a movie. Though I don't know if people catch movies still these days, right? Catch a movie, or did I say eat out? A lot of us do that. Eat out, or, travel, whatever the case may be. These are going to be your leisure. And then, of course, you want to have some things set aside for miscellaneous. Now, I also try to incorporate a car expense miscellaneous in my budget, because listen, these cars do what they want to do, okay? But at any rate, you're wanting to list all of your expenses and your anticipated cost associated with those expenses. So when you do this, you see where you put in where your money's going. So you're saying rent is $1,200, though I don't think it's that any time now. This is 2024. I don't think so, but if you are paying $1,200, very good. Rent is $1,200. Food, let's say good. If you're a single home, maybe $650. I have no idea. But let's say $650. Then eating out, let's say $200. You can these are not fixed, right? You can the variable expenses, you can really decide, I'm not eating out. Instead of spending $200 to eat out, I can invest this money to live better in the future, right? So you can determine the variable expenses, although sometimes, right, yeah, you actually can, because you can turn the light off. You can really figure out how to cut expenses those ways. But this is a good idea to make sure you see where your money is going, right? You have your expenses, you have your costs associated, and then at the bottom in an Excel sheet, I might do a video with this, you'll see the total, right? And so you want to make sure, and this is what I always tell people, that the total that you're living off of, you're spending, and you'll see all of that once you list all of your bills, you want to make sure that that total is less than what's coming in. So if you are bringing in $2,000, let's say, per month, you shouldn't be spending $2,000. And if you are, you want to make sure that you have your miscellaneous budget, and you want to make sure you have your investment budget, right? Your miscellaneous savings and your investment budget. Because if you don't have these two things in there, you are living at your means, and you don't want it for any reason. You do not want it to be, you don't want your expenses to be more than your income. And someone asked me, well, how often do you check your budget? I check my budget every single week, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week, because when I go to the gas station, if I allocate $500 for gas for the month, yes, I commute, a deep commute. So if I allocate $500 for gas for the month, and I go to the gas station and I spend $40, that means I now have what? $460. So I'm putting that in. So every time I go to the gas station, I'm going to my budget, and I'm like, $40 was spent. And so the beauty with Excel is it updates, and it shows me that I only have $460 left. And so I can see, okay, I need to navigate some things, move some things around if I see where I'm going to go over in a certain category. So budgeting is fun for me, but I strongly suggest that you definitely have to have a budget prepared if you want to invest, because you have to know where your money's going in order for you to see if you have money to invest. All right. And if you enjoyed this video, if you're this far in the video, this means you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, and share with anybody else who would like to build their wealth.